Hello everyone, my name is Sadona Isaac, and today I'm going to give you an introduction to timeline in Unreal Engine 5. And through the process we are going to make an elevator whereby our player character is going to step on it and it's going to go up, and whenever our player character go out of it, it's going to come back down, just like the way I did on my last video. But in my last video we talked about a level sequence, but in this video we're going to talk about a timeline which is being done in a class blueprint, which means you can duplicate it, you can use it in other level, but a level sequence cannot be used that way. So we are going to go straight to it so I can understand what I'm talking about. So first of all, what we are going to do is to go to our content browser and maybe just create a folder for where you are going to create the class blueprint. So I'm going to make mine inside my all animation, which I have already created in the last video. So I'm going to right click and create a blueprint class. Wow. Then actor, give it any name you want. I'm going to call it animation. Then we're going to open it. So the next thing we're going to do is to add a component. So we're going to add a cube, or if you like can just add a static mesh, then call it a cube. Then you come to the details panel, to the static mesh here, to add whatever you want to add. So this is more better for me, because if you want to add maybe an asset you brought into Unreal Engine and you want to use it as the elevator or a door or anything, this is the way to do it. So you just bring a static mesh, then from the details panel, from the static mesh, just press the none button here and search for the name of the mesh. So what we are going to look for, we are going to use a cube, since it's just a simple elevator. So I'm going to scale it. So the next thing we are going to bring in is our box collision, so that whenever our player character move on top of the cube, it's going to collide with the box collision, and that is what is going to trigger the animation to make the cube to go up, and whenever the player character go out of it, then it's going to come back. So we are going to add a box collision. You should just call it a collision, or you can just leave it that way if you want. So we are going to make this collision to be a child of our cube, so that it will just be together. And I'm also going to scale the collision, the box collision. The next thing we are going to do now is to move on to our event graph. So we do not need anything here, so we're going to delete them, and we are going to click on our collision, then scroll down. So what we want to make use of is our on actor begin overlap and on actor end overlap. So we're going to bring in the on actor begin overlap first, and we are going to do the same for the end overlap. Then the next thing we're going to do now is to bring in a timeline. Just drag from the on actor begin overlap pin and search for timeline. So add on timeline. So this is what we want. Then if you like, you can just give it a name. You can give the timeline a name. So I'm going to give mine a name. So we're going to call it animation to keep everything clean. So then from the unactor end overlap, we are going to drag from the pin and put it on reverse. But before we do that, we are going to attach it to our third person character, because that is the only one we want to access it, so that whenever our player character come in contact with the box collision, that is when it's going to fire the animation. So, and if anything aside our third person character come in contact with the box collision, it's not going to work. Nothing is going to happen unless our player character come in contact with it. So we are going to cast it to our third person character. If you are using a side scroller character, that is what you are going to use, or any other character, any name you call the character, that is what you are going to cast it to. So in our case, we are going to cast it to a third person character, because that is what we are using right now. So we're going to cast to third person character. And the object we are going to plug it on to other actor, so that if any other actor collide with the box component, nothing is going to affect it, nothing is going to happen unless our third person character. So we are going to copy and paste the third person character, just Ctrl C and Ctrl V to copy and paste. And finally, we are going to hook it up to the reverse. So the on actor end overlap is going to be hooked to the reverse, while the on actor begin overlap is going to be hooked on the play. So the next thing we are going to do now is to double click our animation, which is the timeline, and we are going to create a track. So I'm going to create a float track. That is what we are going to use for this elevator. So we are going to give it a name. You can give it any name you want also. So maybe I should just call it sequence or sequencer. And I am going to reduce the length. The length is going to talk about from this place to the ending side. So right now the length of it is from 0 to 5. So I'm going to reduce it to 3. Then the next thing we're going to do now is to create a point from where the animation is going to start and where it's going to end. So to create a point or a track point, we should hold down the shift key button, then right click on your mouse. It's going to create a button for you, and this is the time from where it's going to start from. So we are going to click it and put 0 over there. So it's going to start from 0, and we are going to create another point. So this point we are going to make it to go to the last end. So we are going to put 3 over here, and let's make it 1. This is the height, like the height of the how high the animation is going to go. That is the value over here. So we are going to put 1 because we are going to use lap. There's a blueprint called lap, so we are going to use that to assign one number to our animation. So I guess we are done for this place. So we are going to go back to our event graph, and now it has created a sequencer, because that is what I call it over there. So we are going to drag a pin from it, and we are going to promote it to, we are going to call on a lab, sorry. So just search for LERP. So we are going to make it a vector lab. This is what we want to access, and this is going to be the ground, and this is going to be the air. So we are going to promote this to a variable. No, sorry. We are going to promote it to a variable, and we are going to call this ground. This is it. This is the bad boy. So we are going to call it ground. And this is the air. Promote to variable, and we are going to call it air. You can call it whatever you want. I am just giving it a name to know which one is which. So we are going to make the air a public so that we can also tweak it in our game instead of coming back to our blueprint. So what we are going to do next is to drag a pin from our timeline, or we can just go to our cube, bring it to our blueprint and drag from it. Then we are going to search for set relative location of the cube. So we are going to set relative location, and we are going to drag the pin from the set relative location to our timeline. And next, the new location, we are going to drag it and hook it up to our lab. So that's it. We are going to compile and go back to our game. And what we are going to do now is to open our game. This the blueprint we just created just now, we are going to drag it to our level so that we can test it. So we're going to play the game so that you can see. For now it's not going to work because the value for the air is too small, so it's not going to work. So I'm going to look for the value on air since we have made it public. Oh, it's not here. Search for air. Alright, since we cannot access it in game here, we are going to go back to our blueprint class and click on our air, which is this air db from our lab. Then we are going to change the z, which is going to go up and down. We are going to change it to 100 since it is on 0. We are going to make it 100. Compile, and we are going to go back to our game. So now everything is working okay, so we are going to play the game to test it. So whenever our player comes down from the elevator, is going to go down also. And this, you can duplicate it, you can use it in other level without attaching any code again. So If you have anything to say, you can also let me know in the comment below, and more video like this will be coming on. So if you want me to do any tutorial on anything you are confused on, you can just let me know in the comment below so that I can make the video. So stay safe and do not forget to subscribe to this channel, and if you like this video, just leave a like, and if you dislike this video, still leave a like because you are going to like it. So stay safe. I'll meet you in the next video. Bye bye.